I'm Paul Hickey. I'm an ancestor hunter. How's that?
I love it. Paul Hickey, of all the places to tell your story and your connection to Nine Ships 1825, what brings us here?
This is the Pioneer Cemetery in Ennismore. So this is where it all started for two sides of my family, actually. So.
And who is buried here that you can connect your family lineage to?
Yeah, so we're standing beside the grave marker of Patrick Hickey. So, and his wife, Margaret Sliney. Patrick came across the Atlantic Ocean with his widow mum and his 5 siblings. So all of the Hickeys, most of the Hickeys in the Peterborough area can trace their lineage to Patrick's mum, Johanna. So we were all offspring of those 6 kids that came across. So.
Do you know what ship he was on?
The Star. They were all on the Star, yeah.
I've seen the banners in town to see Star, Amity,
cool.
Regulus, all of the names of the ships.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to see that there?
Yeah, especially like there's one right outside my old office building downtown. It's just, yeah, it's like the world's colliding, right? It's like all of a sudden it's becoming real. I love being out here, for sure.
Tell me about the connection to the actual Nine Ships logo, the name of the whole, entity that is moving through with this Peterborough Bicentennial. So Nine Ships 1825 Incorporated is a brainchild of you working with the Nine Ships board.
Yes, Mary Smith, Maureen Crowley, and Brendan Moher, they approached me, God, it feels like ages ago now. It was probably a couple years ago. I think they knew a little bit about my past and they knew a bit about my ancestry, and asked if we could somehow get involved in the naming and original design of what this thing would be called. And I still remember talking to them and saying I would do it only if we were allowed to call it something different than the 200th anniversary of blah, blah, blah. So the creative brief at the time spelt that out, and it specified that whatever we were going to call, this celebration, it had to be a little bit more memorable than that. And I think the fact that it's 9 ships, it's educational too, right? So it's a good name. It's a good name.
I think so too, because the 9 ships can hearken you to any connection.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I don't think you want to be too obvious on something like that. So you're already saying 200. We're already talking about Peter Robinson.
Yeah.
Fill in some of the blanks. And I think that's exactly, what this bicentennial is trying to do, is fill in some of the blanks.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to, the essence of what that group is trying to do. I think they're going about this, in my mind, perfectly, for sure, yeah.
For when I think about the 9 ships coming here, I think very much about them leaving Ireland. Mm-hmm. So what takes you to County Cork in May?
Yeah, so they're, the Irish side of the celebrations have organized an afternoon to commemorate the first 2 ships leaving the harbor there, Cobh, the Cobh harbor. And so there's a few of us who are going to be in attendance to lay wreaths where the ships would have left in, I think I'm doing it on behalf of all of the farmers around here. I tell my family that I'm doing it on behalf of the Hickeys, but it's just going to be so good to kind of make that connection over there as well, and then come back here in the summertime, and we're going to be hosting people from around the world here. So it's a great start, yeah.
We're going to be hosting people from around the world. How do you see your role as a Hickey, as a Peter Robinson, immigration descendant, as a member of this Ennismore community?
I think within the extended Hickey family, I've kind of anointed myself as the head ancestor hunter. I think it's been just so good to. I was telling you I had coffee this morning with one of my uncles. A couple weeks ago, I was just down the road having afternoon tea and banana bread with my 90-year-old cousin and my 94-year-old cousin who are still on the farms, and I'm trying to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, trying to figure out where everybody is and who everybody came from and which farms around here were actually originally Hickey farms. So.
Was there a part of the puzzle that you solved that made you feel particularly satisfied?
It's always, like I said, we're all descendants of this 32-year-old widow who came across with her 6 kids. That story just gives me chills just to think about somebody leaving. Like, how bad could the conditions there have been that you thought it was better to take your 6 kids in a boat for, a 4 to 6 week journey in hope that there's something better at the other end, right? And like, they coming here and being given a few tools before the winter, say go at it. It's, yeah, that I find that very humbling just to think that that's where the family started.